Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quigley Field in Malvern, Pennsylvania. It's Malvern Prep against Archbishop Wood, and we've got a very good team against a team that's won 6 state championships in the past decade that's a little bit by the injury bug of late. Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Rotruck. This is Sonny Petricca. Welcome to our broadcast today on MPTV. Malvern Prep 3-0. Archbishop Wood is 2-2, and Malvern's off to a very strong start this season. Obviously, it's entirely the Lonnie White show. There's more to the team than that, but Lonnie White is a heck of a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the Friars have had their best start here in 2 years since 2018, and Lonnie is doing Lonnie things early on here.
There was a game against Princeton Hun, and that was a 10-8 win.
Yep.
I mean, they showed that it is possible to kind of clamp down on Lonnie White. The Friars' offense wasn't really able to get going quite as much as they would have liked there. So there is some optimism, I guess, for Archbishop Wood. They have the formula. There is a way to do it.
Yeah, the Friars do keep finding ways to win, but that 10-8 win was a little bit – it was not as good as the first one, obviously, 39-0 in the opening game. So we're going to see what happens here and see if they can contain Lonnie.
So last time out against Valley View from Northeast Pennsylvania in District 2, and that's a 38-6 win, and that's more of a Malvern Prep style game.
Yeah, they just keep finding ways to win, really. The 10-8 win, the 39-0 win, they put up points. They've been really good on defense this year, probably their best defense in a couple years. And they've looked really well early on, so they're going to hope to capitalize.
When you talk about Lonnie White, it's going to be interesting to see what happens for his future, because he can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he can play secondary. He's played linebacker before and quarterback. I don't think that's his future. And in baseball, he's got a chance to be a first-round pick. He's got tremendous exit velocity as a hitter, and he can fire the ball 95 miles an hour, although he's probably more of a 5-tool outfielder guy. So not only do we not know if his future ultimately after Penn State would be football or baseball, we don't even what side of the ball in football. I mean, it's so exciting for this young man at this time of his life.
Yeah, whether it's baseball or football, I think it's safe to say that Lonnie's going to figure himself out here in the athletic world. He's got a lot of talent, and he's a really good player.
Well, you know, Coach Quigley has said best athlete he's ever seen at this age, bar none. I think there are a lot of others that are kind of on that same page. I mean, he's not just good. He is outstanding and incredible and amazing. And watching him run and his stride, I mean, this guy is, and obviously he's smart too.
Yep.
But the talent and the athleticism is just incredible.
Yeah, he's a big reason for the Friars' 3-0 start, but it's really been the whole team that's came to play early on here, and they've looked real good.
All right, so now Archbishop Wood, they've got all these injuries, and their quarterback is Max Keller. He's out. He was dinged up in each of the last 2 games. They lost to LaSalle. They lost to St. Joe's. Hey, there's no shame in that, especially when you're that injured and you're that beat up. And so they go from those 2 teams to playing Malvern Prep. You're talking about 3 of the very best teams in the entire city.
Yeah, I think that 2-3 record really isn't that big of an indication on how good Archbishop Wood really is. They really should be a 4-1, maybe a 5-0 team, just based on the teams they've played. This is going to be a good one here today.
Yeah, and it's a team that obviously there's a lot of guys that were on that state championship team of last year, and they have this tradition. I mean, this is a little different for them that they're not contending for a state championship this season.
Yeah, if there's one thing Archbishop Wood knows how to do, it's definitely win. So the Friars are going to be put to the test today and try to continue their undefeated season.
They're also in the largest school classification for the first time at 6A, so now they've got to go through schools like St. Joseph's Prep and LaSalle to get to Hershey Park, not this year, because it's not going to happen for them this year, but ultimately in the future. They were down to their 3rd-string quarterback against LaSalle in their game last week after some injuries and issues, and they still were hanging in there. It was 7-0 in the 3rd quarter. So that's our story here from a very windy and sunshiny day in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Malvern Prep against Archbishop Wood is coming up next. We hope you'll stay with us on MPTV.
ask that all patrons and guests refrain from any unsportsmanlike conduct during the playing of the national anthem. We thank you for your attention this evening. We now ask that you rise and remove your hats as we honor the United States of America.
Welcome back to Quigley Field here in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Bob Rotruck here alongside Sonny Petricca. As you can tell just from the sound, it is indeed a windy one. You had one of those as well against Silesianum, but it's probably a little worse here today. I mean, you were up here at the top of the press box. Windier up here than down on the field, I hope.
Yeah, mid-November now. It's got a little colder, and the wind's definitely whipping today. But it is sunny out, though. Hace mucho sol for all of our Spanish listeners out there.
I mean, and it's 53 degrees. I mean, this is good football weather. I mean, it could be 30 and rainy. We've certainly all been through worse in November. So Malvern Prep at 3-0 against the Archbishop Wood Vikings of first-year head coach Matt Walp, who are 2-3, 6A for the first time after they had won 6 state championships in the past 9 years in 5A or other classifications before, and they've had all sorts of injury issues. Trey Holzman will be their starting quarterback today, and they will be receiving, and the kickoff coming from Jake Reed, who can go to college almost anywhere he wants. He's the #1 kicker in Pennsylvania. He is rated number 16 in the country. Hit a 44-yard field goal a couple weeks ago, a 37-yarder for the win right before halftime in week 2 at Princeton Hun. He's a good one too, and he's fielding all kinds of offers, and he'll be a scholarship kid to a D1 program. He's a terrific kicker. So a couple of kids that are deep to receive for this kind of beat-up Archbishop Wood Vikings team. And Jake Reed will boot it away, and we will blow the whistle down and do it again, I guess. There's a flag, and I think that Malvern was offside, and they were.
Yeah, I think that was someone on the left side at the top of your screen. The Friars getting a little jumpy early on. And then back to what you said about Jake Reed. Jake Reed came over from St. Joe's Prep sophomore year, and he's just been kicking balls. He's doing a great job.
You know, the wind is kind of to our backs here at the press box. So as best I can tell, it's kind of blowing across the field, not against him. You're going to get some of those situations where I think the ball blows off over on the tee some as well.
Yeah, I think it's going from the Friar sidelines to Archbishop Wood's sidelines.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. And, you know, it's kind of dies down some and then gusts up. Thankfully, it seems like it's dying down at least for this moment. Knock on wood. All right. Jake Reed, take 2, this time from the 35. And that's going to have some serious hang time all the way to the 6-yard line where they're bringing it out and some big holes blocking. And, hey, there's somebody getting in there on a pretty good tackle. And I'm trying to see who that is. I wonder if that's 9 Frankenheimer who got in there on the tackle. 2 Mulqueen, I think it was. So anyway, here come the Archbishop Wood Vikings of first-year head coach Matt Walp, who's been an assistant coach there for 6 years and played there as well after Kyle Adkins had left after 2 seasons to take an assistant coach position at Ursinus College. And I'm here to tell you, they've played St. Joe's and LaSalle back-to-back. Now they're playing Malvern. So they have trips left, and he finds a receiver on a little bubble screen there. Everybody converging for Malvern Prep. Dale Law is in there on the tackle, and a gain of a couple of yards will bring up 2nd and 8. they have not had the opportunity to really do much changing in their offense. I was chatting with offensive coordinator Leo Plensky. Coronavirus kind of goofed everything up for a lot of teams and their plans. The injuries are hurting them as well. But, hey, we're here playing ball, and we didn't know if we would be. Interac or Philly Catholic. Kind of late decisions to get back and get the games going. Andrew McHugh, number 7, is in motion. Here's a pitch to the tailback, and he doesn't get very far at all. Good coverage defending for Malvern.
Yeah, that right there is more of Archbishop Wood's game. They're usually a grounded pound team. That's why I was pretty shocked to see an empty backfield in the first play of the game. They had four to his left and then a receiver up top.
Owen McHugh got over there on the tackle. Hey, if you're going to try a different look, try it on the first play of the game. I've seen that in a couple other games this year. You get a wing T team that all of a sudden does spread offense for the very first 2 plays. You try to catch them off guard. And so now they've got, kind of a trips left formation again, and here he'll pitch it out. Well, the quarterback, McHugh, they don't get very far at all on that play.
And the Friars defense continues to impress early on here. Another out to start the game.
Well, you talk about swarming to the ball. Okay, so we see Lonnie White coming in to return the punt, and also Isaiah Wright, 2 returners for Malvern, which is kind of their standard. A lot of teams obviously send 1 guy back. Yeah, so it's a pick your poison deal here.
Yeah, there's not a bad option there. You got Lonnie at the bottom, Isaiah at the top. Pick your poison, like you said.
And this punt is a decent one, and it's a fair catch now. That'll be signaled by Isaiah Wright. So here comes Jack Capaldi and Malvern Prep to start things up from their own 34-yard line.
Yeah, you couldn't have dreamed up a better start for Jack Capaldi for his varsity football career. 3-0 to start us off, and he's looking pretty good so far.
3 touchdowns in his debut this season. 83-14. They have outscored their opponents. This comes after a 4-6 season last year. But with Lonnie White in the mix, they knew they were going to have a good team this season and rivaling the team they had in 2018 that won the Interac at 5-0 and 11-0 overall. So shotgun for Capaldi, and there's Lonnie White. And it's a handoff, actually. Up the middle, and just a gain of a couple as everybody collapses in on the running back.
Yeah, that was Isaiah Wright. He's been getting a lot of opportunities early on this year. He's just a junior, and he's been doing a really good job. He's been impressing out there. Impressive.
So Isaiah Wright gains just a couple. 2nd and 8 here, first quarter for Malvern Prep against Archbishop Wood. And that is still Isaiah Wright in the backfield. Last week had a 25-yard touchdown score. And there's a play action on the fake handoff, and the pass is complete. Good moves there for Matthias, and I think he got enough for a first down. Yes, they will move the chains. Was that not Matthias? Who do we got there?
That was D'Angelo Stocker. He's
okay,
also a
Stocker,
track star.
Yes.
For those that don't know.
And he's considering his offer from Temple, and I'm sure other offers to come. In motion from the slot is Katiana. Oh, there's a big hole, and Isaiah Wright is going to rumble forward for 15 yards. Some big blocks paving the way for him.
Yeah, Isaiah had a huge hole right in the middle of the field, and he took it. Now they're in Archbishop Wood territory here.
I see a guy like Kevin Miller there on the offensive line on the right side, and of course Colton Deary is a pretty big deal as well with his 30 D1 offers.
Yeah, a bunch of big names on that Friars O-line.
Matthias is wide right. Here's another handoff here. And Isaiah Wright with maybe a couple at best. A couple guys getting in there on the tackle. I think Eric Meekum might have been one of those players inside on the tackle for the Archbishop Wood Vikings. So it's just sort of a sustained drive, at least ongoing for Malvern Prep. 2nd and 10. There was no gain on that last run for Wright. And Capaldi looking and has a receiver. That's Matthias, and probably for a loss. He came back from the wide out position and wanted to kind of hook and turn that into something, but Archbishop Wood was staying right there with him.
Yeah, plays like that have been the Friars' bread and butter all year. I mean, those screens and those little checkdowns usually work for them.
So Matthias and Andrew Connolly are going wide left, and Lonnie White, we haven't seen him do anything yet. And, well, we're waiting, and obviously they're trying to cover him as best they can. You got to know where he is on the field at all times. Ryan Wirtz is tasked with that challenge here for Archbishop Wood. Capaldi is going to try to scramble and duck out of the way and doesn't really get anywhere. Brought down, not exactly officially for a sack, but doesn't really matter. It is 4th down and 15 from the 45. That is some impressively good defense there for Archbishop Wood.
Yeah, Archbishop, that was a huge stop for Archbishop Wood. The Friars, what they've been doing all year has been getting on the board early like they didn't do last year. And, yeah, that's been what they've been doing. And that was big for Archbishop Wood to stop them there.
Ronan Swope is a pretty good punter and potentially on his way to Texas Tech as a walk-on. Head coach Dave Guerrera had informed me. A little tricky snap that might have blown some in the wind there. And he gets it away, and there's a fair catch at the 12-yard line. Archbishop Wood will start up their offense from there. With 6:45 to go in the first quarter, the Archbishop Wood Vikings and the Malvern Prep Friars. Last year, Archbishop Wood at Hershey Park, a dramatic 19-15 win of the championship over Cheltenham to finish an 11-3 season in what was supposed to be a rebuilding year. Weren't expected to contend after they had lost, 27 seniors from the year before. But it was Max Keller to Cardell Pigford on a 3-yard touchdown pass with 4 seconds left. And lo and behold, their 6th state title in 9 years. Won't be so easy for them at 6A. I don't know if it was technically easy at 5A, but if you have to go through St. Joe's and LaSalle to get to a state championship, obviously that is a much bigger challenge for them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tall task for the Vikings to repeat this year, but that coaching staff continues to impress, so we'll see if they...
How about that matchup of a couple weeks ago, and they got blown out by St. Joe's, and it's understandable, especially with the injuries, but you've got a team that had, two teams that had 6 state championships within the last decade. St. Joe's had won 6 in the last 8 years, and Archbishop Wood 6 in the last 9 years. A little disappointing that the game wasn't as close as you might have expected with 2 powerhouses like that. And speaking of power, here's a nice big hole. And a run for a first down up to the 25. Ricardo Delgado is one of their running backs who is out. Number 6 is not playing for the 2nd week in a row. Kalen Costello is back after he sat out last week against LaSalle with an injury. They lost 27-0, but that was a 7-0 game in the 3rd quarter. They recovered a fumble at the 23-yard line and had a chance to tie the game, and they fumbled it right back. So kind of shot themselves in the foot and just never could really get their offense going. Boy, some big defense there and good coverage. Katanina and Frankenheimer busting their way through. And another TFL, another tackle for loss. We've seen some for both sides already.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of opportunities on both sides of the ball for these Vikings second and third string guys. They're getting a lot of opportunities early on here.
5:10 to go, first quarter. It is 2nd and 7 from the Vikings' 28-yard line. Trey Holzman is their 2nd string quarterback. Oh, that had a chance to be intercepted. It hits off of his shoulder or helmet, and then it's caught. And I mean, D'Angelo Stocker, all he's got to do is reach up and catch the ball, but he was looking at the player he wanted to hit, and the ball hit off of him, bounces up, and then it's caught for an Archbishop Wood reception. I don't know if I've ever seen a play quite like that before.
That would have definitely been a pick 6 if he caught it.
Oh, yeah. And it was right there at him. It literally hit him, and he just didn't see it.
But I guess no harm, no foul. It was only a 1-yard gain, it looks like. But either way, missed opportunity for the Friars there.
And we would have had the track stand out with nothing but open field in front of him. I mean, he would have turned. So. Yeah, it would have turned on the turbos, and it would have been fun.
Guess what would have happened there?
Yeah, in 4.39 seconds, he would have run another 40 yards. 3rd and 4 from their own 31 for the Vikings. Now this time, Holzman goes under center. Here's a handoff, and boy, they just stack that line. And you talk about all the muscle getting in there and battles in the trenches. Good work down low. That's Jake Brownley, I think, on the tackle. And Brownley last week in their, or in week 1 rather, you saw him with the sack. You saw him with the pick 6. Speaking of which.
Yeah, Brownley's having a standout year for a senior campaign so far. He's been doing really good.
Okay, so here comes Lonnie White and Isaiah Wright, deep to return.
White and Wright.
Yeah, that's right. Here we go. That's a pretty good punt with some serious hang time. Oh, and he's not even going to fair catch that. He caught it with guys right on top of him, and boy, that's very dangerous because you can fumble. It's just a little bit of a bobble, you're in trouble, but it worked out okay for Isaiah Wright. And here comes Jack Capaldi and company for Malvern Prep with 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. And already I'm a little reminded of the game that I saw on video, at least part of it, that they played on the road in Princeton, New Jersey against Hun. I mean, that was just a defensive struggle back and forth. It was 10-8 at halftime. It was 10-8 a final score. I mean, neither team really could get going with the football. Too many turnovers in that game, too.
Yeah, if you like defense, that was the game for you.
Defense and turnovers. All right, this is a handoff here again to Isaiah Wright. And look at that defense for Archbishop Wood. I mentioned to the offensive coordinator for Archbishop Wood, who I chatted with, Leo Plensky, hey, you know, Ronnie was kind of held up some in that game against Hun. You've got the formula there if you watch the video of that. And he said, hey, we're not going to change our game. I mean, he's a dangerous and he's a tremendous athlete and he's a dangerous player. We're just going to find him and find the ball and do what we do.
Yeah, just him on the field alone is enough to open up opportunities for this Friars offense.
All right, Capaldi is out of a shotgun. Here's another handoff. No, it's a play action, fake handoff, and he throws it a little bit behind Lonnie White, who was cutting across the field on a crossing pattern. Looked like a little bit of a miscommunication there with the ball misfired behind him by that much.
Yeah, a little bit of hesitation there by Capaldi. I don't know if he saw someone in the middle there. I think there was a safety coming down, so it might have been wise to throw it away. On
top of that, the play action looked a little tricky. He almost ran into his own guy. It fooled me there, which is obviously part of the idea is to fool you. Kello Matthias enters the game, and here is Lonnie White, the lone wideout on the near sideline with trips left, spreading it out, and now Capaldi fires it up the middle and overthrows everyone, including Andrew Connolly. So, Capaldi's misfired on a couple, and here comes another punt for Malvern Prep.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure sent by the Vikings on that one, so he didn't have too much time to make a good throw there.
All right, Ronan Swope is on to boot it away with 2:41 to go in the first quarter. And, well, we haven't had exclusively 3 and outs. I think we've had one first down for each side. I mean, we it's been pretty close to 3 and outs. All right, Swope handles a low snap. You hear that wind.
Good play, Swope.
Yeah, there's a punt, kind of punting it away. And, yeah, he got rid of that punt, and he punted it away from those two guys. They pick it up and take it over to the 21, 22-yard line where Archbishop Wood will start their next drive, their 3rd drive of the game.
Yeah, that was a good play by Swope behind the play. The ball bounced to him on the snap, and he picked it up and kicked it. So that was good. It could have saved some points there.
So here I am coming to this game, super excited to see Lonnie White Jr. He hasn't done a darn thing yet. I mean, I don't expect him to touch the ball every single time, but that's part of the reason why they're putting him wide out or as running back. They want to get him the ball as much as they can. And, well, that's a early victory of sorts for Archbishop Wood, that they have held Lonnie White pretty much off the score sheet for the first quarter. Here's a handoff and trying to turn the corner and finding open space. Oh, nice tackle there by D'Angelo Stocker. Yeah, that was a terrific play. I thought he was going to be able to dodge Stocker and turn that into something. And Stocker stayed with him. And the track standout who missed that pick 6 opportunity on the last Archbishop Wood drive comes up with another tackle for loss. 2nd and 11 from their own 21-yard line for Trey Holzman and Archbishop Wood. All right, here's Holzman, number 3, rolling right, under pressure, finds a receiver, caught, and then immediately wrapped up. Yeah, wrapped up and thrown down by Jake Brownley. It's okay to give up a reception if they only get a couple yards out of it. You don't have to break up every pass. Get to the receiver, get to the ball. Gain of 2, 3rd and 9. All right, a couple guys in and out here for this Archbishop Wood team. You talk about Colton Deary on the O-line for Malvern Prep. Archbishop Wood has a similar guy, Robert Jackson, 260-pound senior, and a 3-star athlete with 30 D1 offers of his own. So a couple of guys that can go pretty much wherever they want. Oh, dumped it off down low, and now turning for extra yards after the catch. Nice moves there for Kalen Costello, who is back after his injury.
And Archbishop Wood finally getting a first down, looking to cook up something here as the first quarter comes to an end.
Catania had the tackle on that play, had a couple of interceptions in their 10-8 win against Princeton Hun, including an interception with 1 minute left that sealed the victory. Okay, so now he's got a couple of running backs in the backfield, and you spread it out with 2 receivers wide right and one to the left, and here comes a handoff again to Costello. Doesn't really get very far, and that should do it, I think, for the first quarter. Gain of 3 on that run for Kalen Costello. Has either side gotten it past the 50 yet? I don't think they have.
I think the Friars in their first drive were at the
About
Archbishop Wood 40, and then ever since then.
Yeah, that's about it.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah. Okay, so, we have timeout called on the field. Oh, now they're signaling to roll the clock, aren't they? Yes, they are. They faked everybody out, and that will do it for the first quarter. So it's a defensive struggle to begin this one on a Saturday afternoon, a windy afternoon from Malvern. And the Malvern Prep Friars and Archbishop Wood Vikings are 0-0 on MPTV. Live from Malvern Prep and a 0-0 score as we go to the second quarter. Holzman under center, pitches that off. That's Costello trying to turn the corner and then cut it back inside. Everybody swarms on him. There's another tackle for loss. I mean, we've had almost as many offensive plays that have been 0 or -1 yards as we have had positive yardage games or plays.
Yeah, that was Joe Walheim on the tackle, who hails from the boroughs of Malvern.
I think Dale Law was perhaps in there as well. I mean, everybody kind of converging. And so 3rd and 6 here to begin the second quarter from their own 43 for head coach Matt Walps. Archbishop Wood Vikings at 2-2. And dropping back to throw, airing it out. It is caught. Oh, that's a nice catch and a pretty big hit out there as well. But we've got a first down. D'Angelo Stocker on the coverage.
Yeah, not much D'Lo could do there. That was a really good catch. I can't quite see who that was.
The yellow numbers are very tricky to read from up here, so that's why we kind of hesitate on some of the Archbishop Wood players because of the yellow numbers on the white jerseys. Trying to identify them when they get set up in their formations as best I can. That's not easy either. All right, 1st and 10. They cross the 50 into Malvern territory for the first time. Here comes an end around from the receiver cutting back the other way. I think that might be 7 McHugh, and he turned that one into a 6 or 7 yard gain on the play. Is that 5 Ryan Wirtz? No, that was 7 McHugh. And that's a gain of 8, and that's one of their best offensive plays that they've had along with that last pass for a first down. So they're kind of clawing their way here on the Malvern D.
Yeah, slowly but surely Wood is finding ways to get down the field.
This is an interesting matchup when you get the Philly Catholic League against the Interac. I mean, that doesn't happen every day. These are 2 teams. We don't know if they've ever played each other. If they have, it's been a very long time since they have played. It just doesn't happen all that often. All right, he has the handoff there to Kalen Costello and pushing forward for nothing. I think Joe Walheim, 35, was in there on the tackle. I don't think Jake Brownley was there. I'm looking at him, but I don't think he was on that play. And I see Ryan Davis, number 21, as well. Okay, 3rd and 3. From the Malvern 40. This is 4-down territory here. I mean, they're I don't think they're punting 100%. It away from here. You know, they're absolutely. So they don't have to think in terms of needing to get a first down here. They don't have to convert on this one. They've got 2 cracks at it. And they're really in the power I this time. They show a lot of different formations here, don't they? And here comes out of that power I with the fullback trying to block for him. And I don't know if Costello got there or not.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's very close. And they're going to signal he did. They'll give him the forward progress to the 37. So Costello is eating up little chunks of yardage and just enough to get there. First down for Archbishop Wood at the Malvern 37 now.
Yeah, it looks like Wood is starting to find their game a little bit. They're going back to the ground and pound offense that we've seen from them over the past couple years.
Well, I think a lot of people are a little fooled by the scores in the St. Joe's and LaSalle games. When they're dinged up and injured, I mean, St. Joe's, you got to just wipe that off the ledger there, because it really isn't embarrassing to lose to a powerhouse team like St. Joe's. And LaSalle, that was a tight game all the way through, really. All right, there's a gain of a couple. 2nd and 7 for Archbishop Wood now. I mean, you want to just talk about eating up little chunks of yardage at a time. 2nd and 7 from the Malvern Prep 34. 4 men up front. Here's the pitch to Costello. They're just giving him the ball over and over. He tries to lunge forward as the line all collapses on him. I don't think he got very far. Will Shallow, number 57, is the junior defensive lineman, who I think got a piece of him for the tackle on that play.
I think with the win today here, anything not in the red zone right now would be 4-down territory where Wood's at right now.
And the wind isn't that as much of a factor right now, but yeah, it's a fair point. Okay, so here we go. 3rd and 5, and again 4-down territory, because not every team has a kicker of Jake Reed's caliber. In fact, pretty much no other team does. All right, play action after the fake handoff. He's in trouble. Wrapped up and slammed down. Jake Brownley came through, and I think on a blitz, and I think untouched, because he was right on top of quarterback Trey Holzman before he could do anything.
Yeah, Brownley was unblocked there, and he got him, which looks like it's at the 42 right now, so that's a big loss. And
that takes it out of 4-down territory.
Yep.
If you just throw an incomplete pass and you have 4th and 5, 4th and 4, then you go for it. But here on 4th and 14, they will punt it away. Now the ball is on the 42, so he's going to be trying to punt it for the corner here, I would assume. And you have Lonnie White and Isaiah Wright back to return again. Oh, he's going to keep it himself on a fake punt, and he gets up to the 30-yard line, and I think he fell short of the first down.
I don't think he got it.
No, I don't think he did either. Oh, and they're saying that he did. Boy, it looked like he was out of bounds on the 29 or 28, and he needed to get to the 27.
It looked like he was 1.5 yards short, but I guess he might have reached the ball across.
Well, it's really hard for us, there's that point, and it's hard for us to see here on the Malvern Prep sideline with all the players standing there exactly where did he get to.
Yeah, the Friars don't seem to be contesting it at all,
right.
So they must have saw something.
Yeah, and it happened right in front of him, and he knew what yard line he had to get to. Exactly.
Yep.
Boy, what a gutsy play for Matt Walp to try the fake punt there on 4th and 15, but you're kind of already into Malvern territory already, so if it doesn't work, if it blows up in your face, you're okay.
Yeah, I think it was a good call. I mean, even if it gets blown up, you're still around the 35. So, yeah, no harm, no foul, but it worked out for him.
Cutting it back the other way. Here is Costello. And Kalen Costello kind of zigs and zags and bounces off a couple of tacklers, and he finds his blockers now. And before they were converging on him quickly, but now Costello's getting a little more going. A gain of 6. 2nd and 4 from the Malvern Prep 21. And with all the running here, our clock is just ticking. I mean, we're down to 6:20 to go in the second quarter.
I was just going to say, talk about chewing clock. I mean, yeah, we're at the 6-minute mark, and Wood's still outside the red zone.
Malvern, yeah, right, and Malvern hasn't had the ball yet in the second quarter. So a drive of about 8 minutes almost, keeping it himself, and then slam down and
that's
feeling it. That's Dale Law.
And I think Colton Deary was there, too.
Oh, Deary, too, right, yeah. And Trey Holzman.
They were all over him.
Yeah, he probably regrets tucking it and trying to do something with that himself. 3rd and 7. And again, 4-down territory, really. The ball on the 24. So that would be a 41-yard field goal, which is likely not realistic for Shane Kirby, I wouldn't think, especially with some of this wind pushing it around.
Yeah, if anything, Trey Holzman has to throw it away here. He took another sack.
Right.
Took the sack on 3rd down last time, so he's got to throw it away.
All right, Holzman looks left. Now he's going to throw right as a receiver. It is caught, but not for much of a gain on the reception for David Piotrowski, the junior wide receiver. 4th down, and what do we have? Oh, it was a lot closer than I thought. Did they give him a first down there at the 20 or at the 17? I thought he was short.
I don't think that was a first down.
I really did not think he got there. And they give him a first down. That was an interesting spot. Are they giving it to him down there?
Coach Guerrero is letting him know about it. I don't think that was a first down.
Yeah, so Dave Guerrero, I mean, that's where it's one thing if I see it one way, but if you see the head coach contesting the call and really upset about it, then you know you're probably onto something. Out of the power eye, and here's some more power coming in, and a big hit from Consolino, I believe that was, 85 for the tackle on that play, and no gain for Costello. Was that Walheim?
I think that was a bunch of that was Walheim, that was Chiartolo.
Everybody. The defense looks so powerful on some plays, and Archbishop Wood just has to figure it out on what has to be. I lost count. It's got to be their 13th or 14th play of their drive here.
This is what I mean. They've
had the ball the entire quarter,
20 yards in probably 6 minutes from where they started.
Right. And they had it at the end of the first quarter. Now we got 4:20 left in the quarter. Throws it for the end zone. Complete touchdown. Boy, Holzman throws it up there, up high, and it is caught for a touchdown for Archbishop Wood.
And we were at the 4-minute mark now, so that was a dream drive for Wood there. Just clawing their way, putting some points on the board.
Boy, that was a nice catch there that was Costello. Out of the backfield.
Yeah, that was a good throw, good catch.
Touchdown for Archbishop Wood to cap a 9-10-minute drive of 14 plays or so to take the lead. Tricky snap. He handles. The kick is good, and it is 7-0. Archbishop Wood with 4:11 to go here in the first half. I thought that Archbishop Wood was better than their last couple of scores. The injuries have been piling up. I mean, Max Keller was their quarterback that won a state championship last year, and he's out. What is Archbishop Wood going to bring to the table? This still, to me, is a little surprising. The score right now, I think a lot of people thought that Malvern Prep would be the favored team in such a matchup.
Yeah, and if anything, you would think a high-scoring game between these two teams, but early on, it's only a 7-0 game, and the Friars are going to face really their first time being down early in this game.
Well, they were down at Hun, and they rallied from behind. So on the road, that happened to them, and they just clawed their way to a 10-8 win. But certainly they don't have a whole lot of experience with this, but it certainly does sort of feel like the Hun game. It's a little different, but there's a drive that goes all the way back to the first quarter. Now they score with 4:11 left in the second quarter for a 7-0 lead. Pretty good looking kickoff. And there's Mr. Lonnie White from about his own 4, and he finally gets the ball, and everybody is converging and wrapping him up. He barely got past the 15-yard line. Well, they've done a wonderful job containing Lonnie White, of course, so far in the second quarter. The way they've done that is by not letting Malvern Prep have the ball at all.
Yeah, it takes the whole team to take down a guy like Lonnie, so they've been doing a good job so far, but I expect big things for the rest of the first half and the second half for Lonnie.
How important is it for these kids to just get to play these games at all? It's sort of a cliche now here in our coronavirus era, and not just the D1 kids like Lonnie White on his way to Penn State, and he'd already committed anyway, but other kids that are looking to show their talents, D2 and D3 kids too. It's an opportunity to play games that are so important for their lives. Well, there it is, a crossing pattern right up the middle for Andrew Connolly. Good hands, takes the hit, but got a first down out of it. And Capaldi hit him right there in the hands after he misfired on a couple of passes earlier in the first quarter. First down from their own 31-yard line. Well, all the first stringers are well rested, so,
yeah.
Right? I mean, some of them are playing
a long break there.
Right, some play on both sides of the ball. Here's Isaiah Wright. And boy, he escapes a couple of tackles. They just couldn't grab him. He slips his way right through and turns that into a gain of 7.
There's that Friars offense we know.
And it should have been a gain of 2. I mean, there were a couple of guys that had him. 2nd and 3 from their own 38. with Malvern Prep trailing 7-0 in the second quarter and 3:15 to go here in the first half. Jack Capaldi out of the shotgun, little play action, I guess, and he's going to throw it up for grabs. Dangerous pass, diving over, not quite catching it, was Kellen Matthias. Boy, that was very dangerous with the wind kind of pushing that around. Double coverage there. Maybe fortunate that wasn't picked off.
Yeah, I think the wind caught it a little bit.
Yes, it looked like
around
it.
the 40-yard line, but I like to see the Friars, trying to go deep here.
3rd and 3 with 3:05 left in the second quarter. Now you're putting Lonnie White in the backfield. Is he in as the quarterback?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
That's Lonnie. Here comes a timeout.
Yeah, we could hear the coaches next to us here, and timeout is called by Archbishop Wood. So they got on the headsets. That's why you get the coaches up high, and they can see and they tell the coach, a timeout, or we're not lined up correctly. So they were panicking a little bit, and they didn't want to give up a first down on this important play at 3rd and 3.
And you can imagine maybe a draw there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Probably a draw with Lonnie.
So you talk about throwing in some different looks. This Archbishop Wood team, I think many expected to be a little bit better, and I think they're better than what people believe right now. After they win the state title last year, they returned 8 starters on offense, 8 starters on defense, including their quarterback as well, Max Keller, but injuries have killed them. A.J. Minners was in as their running back last week with 2 other running backs injured. That was his first ever start, and he had recovered from an injury. I mean, they were at their 3rd string quarterback for a stretch in their loss to LaSalle when it was 7-0 in the 3rd quarter. And now we're seeing evidence that, yes, Archbishop Wood, they've had some bad luck along the way, but they're still Archbishop Wood.
Yeah, injuries will do that to a team, but they've done a pretty good job of containing it and guys stepping up.
All right, 3rd and 3. Yeah, it's Lonnie White, high snap, brings it down. Now he's taking it himself.
Touchdown.
Look at this.
Touchdown.
Oh, goodness, all the way downfield for a touchdown. That is a 62-yard touchdown run, a touchdown sprint for Lonnie White Jr. Oh, goodness.
I don't think you'll see a bigger hole than that. I mean, the Friars Lonnie had 10 yards of room there, a huge hole, and he ran right through it. It doesn't get much easier than that.
The offensive line paved the way for Lonnie White with 2:55 left in the second quarter in this offense that had kind of been sputtering along and struggling somewhat. Here's Jake Reed on for the extra point. It is up and it is good. And we are tied at 7-7 with 2:55 to go in the first half. So you talk about some of those big guys up front like Kevin Miller and Colton Deary with some big blocks in there. And White, he fakes the handoff on the end around. So you get somebody coming back there to give a little bit of a misdirection.
Yeah, that was
and then he just takes off. I mean, but it was a hesitation. He didn't take off at first.
Yeah.
He got everybody going one way on the fake handoff.
That was just as much Lonnie's touchdown as it was the O-lines. I mean, they made a huge hole. And, great play by the Friars, great call.
Is he going to be a football player or a baseball player? He's got a good chance to be a first-rounder in baseball as well. Yeah. I mean, that's an incredible athlete, and you watch his stride and you watch how he runs, and that's the Lonnie White I was looking forward to seeing. And not only that, but on the defensive side of the ball, too, with 3 interceptions this year, two of them in the first game. One of them that he shouldn't have even intercepted because it was in the end zone on a 4th down play. He should have let it drop, but it pads his stats a little bit.
Yeah, he's special.
Yeah, so many adjectives, and Dave Guerrera, I asked him, is he the best you've ever seen? Like, is it even close? Is there anybody else in the same stratosphere? No, not even close. Easily. They talk about just the insane games and insane plays that he has, and here's a really good-looking kick that's going to go through the end zone. Jake Reed fires it through. Looked like that one kind of hung up in the air some and almost floated a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
And the number one kicker in the state of Pennsylvania gets that touchback. Well, I was a little concerned we weren't going to see Lonnie White do anything, but you give him enough time and he's going to come up with a play like that. So, Archbishop Wood with the ball with 2:55 left in the first half. They don't have 9 or 10 minutes to drive like they did the last time.
All of a sudden, 3 minutes left.
Colton Deary and Joe Walheim and those big guys up front looking for a couple big stops. Maybe try to get the ball back before halftime and see what they can accomplish. The pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete. And I think that was Dale Law that got a hand on it.
Yeah, that was almost picked off there. I think that was Curatello who almost got his hands on it.
So Trey Holzman, he saw his receivers downfield. He didn't see the guys that were breathing right down his neck. So the clock is stopped with 2:52 to go in the second quarter. A scoreless first quarter. Pass to Costello in the end zone for 20 yards for Archbishop Wood that capped that drive of almost 10 minutes with 4:11 left in the first half, 7-0. And Malvern Prep finally got the ball, and a few plays later it was Lonnie White, a 62-yard touchdown sprint untouched up the middle. Boy, they couldn't bring him down. They just shoved him around and pushed him forward and turned that into a first down, and now the ball came out. And Malvern thinks they have it, and they do. On the fumble, it'll be Malvern Prep football.
Yeah, I didn't even see him lose the ball.
No, I
just saw.
I saw everyone get excited, and that was it. And I see that Dale Law was in there. I don't know who got it. And it looked like Jake Brownley was somewhere in that mix as well. So, and I mean, that was kind of some botched coverage on that run as well. They kind of shoved him the wrong way, and he had a gain of 13 yards or so. That was probably Costello running, I would assume.
I think that was Dale Law on the recovery there.
Yeah. All right, so now Lonnie White is going to go wide right to the short side of the field, and Jack Capaldi is back in there at quarterback, and you've got a couple receivers that are wide left, including Matthias. Catania is in the backfield now, kind of slides over to the slot a little bit. And play action, and airs it out, kind of turning it around and almost kind of throws it away there. Lonnie White was cutting one way, and the pass went towards the corner the other way. 2:34 left here, so a lot of time, and the ball is at the 34. The wind could really be an issue here. On your thoughts on Jake Reed's field goal efforts. It's a little died down now for the moment. I mean, he's got the leg, but they'd like to get it a little closer. All right, here's Capaldi. A lot of time. Airs it out. Has Connolly. Kind of shoving around there. Incomplete, and no flag. And Malvern certainly wanted one. And boy, are they fired up on the Malvern Prep sideline.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't even give Connolly a chance there. I think
he might have ruled it was uncatchable. You know, the pass was a little bit.
That's what it could have been, but
that was a lot of contact. And yeah, boy, they are giving it to the officials there. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, Friar Nation's letting them have it.
Yeah, Dave Guerrera specifically. I mean, not just some of the coordinators and assistant coaches, but the head coach as well. All right, second down, and airing it out for the end zone again. He overthrows D'Angelo Stocker. Incomplete. With 2:22 left in the first half, and this is 4th down and 10 from the 34. And so what are they going to try here?
I think it looks like they're going to go punt it.
I would think so too, and yeah, here we go with Ronan Swope. I mean, that would be a 51-yarder, which I think on a good day Jake Reed could make,
yeah,
but this is not a good day. I mean, you could even try to draw him off sides here, and oh boy, a bad snap. He comes up with it and got rid of it. And well, let's see, I think this is going into the end zone. Yep, it sailed up there and through the end zone with 2:15 left in the first half and a 7-7 tie. Interac and Philly Catholic Leagues had both shut it down, then they restarted. Interac shuts it down again. Malvern says we're going to play on our own. They're scrambling to find a schedule. They don't have an opponent in 2 weeks. They're advertising, hey, we're looking to play somebody. And I see all of that stuff on Twitter with all these teams. We're hoping we can find an opponent for November 20th or whatever. It looks so weird. And welcome to sporting life in the coronavirus era, because teams have to cancel. Teams are trying to find openings. They played 2 teams from out of state to make their schedule happen for Malvern Prep. So it's all weird and goofy, but you're playing games, period.
Yeah.
And we were really this close to not having any games at all for any of these kids.
Yeah, it's good to have football back for sure.
Colton Deary had the tackle on that play. Now we've got a timeout on the field, and was this called by Malvern? Hoping to get the ball back, or is Archbishop Wood talking? I didn't see who signaled for the timeout. Anyway, so the gain of 4 there, 2nd and 6 forthcoming with 2:09 left in the first half, in a good game, and not a blowout rout as has been the case for 2 of the 3 wins for Malvern Prep, but Archbishop Wood can hang even with their injuries. They're hanging in there, and their defense has been terrific, all except for one play, really.
Yeah, a lot of defense so far. Wood's been doing a pretty good job of containing the Friars, but the Friars have been giving it right back to them. 7-7 tie with 2:09 remaining.
It was an interesting time to call a timeout,
yeah.
you know, and I wonder if Malvern is trying to get the ball back and play the field position game. And I wish I had seen the signal on who had called the timeout.
I assume Wood called the timeout.
I do too, but I mean, you know, there's logic on the other way.
Uh-huh.
So until I have it confirmed, you're kind of just sort of left guessing. Holzman on the handoff, got nowhere. Trey Holzman gave it off to, I want to see if that's Costello. The ball came out at the end. That was that 20 Costello? Boy, oh boy. 3rd and 7 now, and another time. Did he say Malvern? I think he did.
I think it was Malvern. Malvern must be
Malvern's playing.
Back, yeah.
Malvern's playing the possession game here. They feel like they can get a stop, get the ball back, get decent field position, and then just like the game with Princeton Hun, maybe get a field goal right before halftime, which ended up being the winner.
Yep.
Against Hun, they were down 8-7, and it was I want to say it was a 34-yarder right before halftime that Jake Reed nailed, 37-yarder, and it was for the win at halftime. He didn't know it was for the win at the time, but it was a 10-8 lead at halftime and a 10-8 win in Princeton in the end.
Yeah, in games like this, you just need points. So any way you can, you got to get points on the board to try to get ahead here.
I mean, while you've got Archbishop Wood kind of stuck on in their own territory, they're using their timeouts while they got them. They've got time here. Okay, so 3rd and 7 with 2:04 left in the first half. Here is Holzman. Little play action. Airs it out. Caught and dropped. Stocker on the coverage. It looked like he had it. I mean, he did, and then Stocker spun him around, and the ball came flying out there.
Yeah, that was a great play by D'Angelo. It looked like he was going to catch it right around the 50. And then he knocked it down to bring up the 4th down.
So, and with the incompletion, that stops the clock again. And we don't have White returning here, do we? We have Stocker joining Isaiah Wright, and now the ball is going to bounce on that punt all the way down to the 30-yard line. A lot of time still, though, with 1:50 to go in the first half, and now the momentum is really kind of tilting to Malvern Prep's favor after that ludicrously long drive that Archbishop Wood had until 4:11 left in the second quarter, and they hung onto the ball for about 10 minutes. But now Malvern's getting the ball back. Not the field position that they would have hoped for, though. All right, so Jack Capaldi and company, and there's Lonnie White Jr., and he's going to go wide right on the short side of the field. Stocker is one of the 3 trips wide left. And Capaldi out of the shotgun. Play action, fired it over the head of Stocker. He goes airborne to try to catch it, though. That's dangerous to go up that high with coverage on the play from 7 Andrew McHugh. Works out okay. I mean, he could have really blasted him there.
Yeah, he could. He was right in the middle of the field, too, so that was pretty risky. But we'll see what happens here on 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10, yeah. 1:47 left in the second quarter, and Capaldi looking in for the sign, the play. Capaldi looks right, just sort of lobs it up the middle and to nobody. And almost hit one of his offensive linemen who would have been an illegal receiver downfield, most likely, Will Shallow. And it landed at his shoelaces. If that hits him in the back, that counts as contact to a receiver even if he wasn't looking at the ball. And it could have been a penalty. It almost hit him just in the, the heel. What a weird looking play. I mean, he just sort of dumped it off, right, floated it up there to nobody but his offensive lineman. So a little miscommunication there, I guess, not quite on the same page. 3rd and 10 with 1:42 to go in the first half. Whistles blow, and maybe a false start on Malvern, let's see, or timeout called.
Yeah, it's a timeout.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the last one, too.
Yeah, it is, and I don't think the play clock would have been close to expiring at all. So you got a real, kind of a chess match here at the end of the first half. Yeah, I mean, really working for every nook and cranny they can out of this, and this is a 3rd and 10 play. Now out of a previous timeout that Archbishop Wood called. Malvern, it looked like the same formation anyway, but they came right back, and Archbishop Wood thought they were out of alignment. They called timeout. They got back straight, and Malvern said, okay, we'll just run it right up the middle after this fake end around, and Lonnie will do his thing for a 62-yard touchdown sprint.
Yeah, it's crazy to see the first 10 minutes of this quarter went by like that.
Yeah.
And now
it's all the timeouts.
It's been a half hour.
Right. All right, Lonnie White Jr. is wide right on the. He's lining on the short side of the field an awful lot here today. And you have twins left, including Matthias. Capaldi looking. He just got a go route. Oh boy, that's a weird looking pass that kind of was dying there in the wind, and Matthias almost pulled it in. The ball falls.
And there's a flag.
Do they rough the passer there? Do they blast him in the backfield? 4th down is coming up, but that's pending the outcome of the penalty.
That'll be a first down.
Yeah. Roughing the passer is the call. So that's why that pass looked so ugly and kind of died out there, because he got hit as he was releasing it, or maybe after release. But, I mean, it sure looked – I mean, the wind kind of plays tricks with you as well. But that's a first down on the roughing the passer penalty. And all the way out to the 45, and still 1:33 to go. A heck of a lot of time left here. Stocker and Matthias are wide left. Lonnie White Jr. looks like he's arranging himself on the right side, and Andrew Connolly is over there on that short side of the field as well. First down from their own 45 with 1:30 to go, and it's complete to Stocker, who had to kind of stumble back to catch the pass that didn't quite make it there, but he made it work. A.J. Minners was on the coverage. It's a gain of 4, and they're going to go no huddle with the clock running and no timeouts left for Malvern Prep with 1:15 to go from their own 49, 2nd and 6. Capaldi, and he escapes out of the pocket, ducks his way through, tucks it and runs.
Gets out of bounds.
And I think he got to the first down marker and also out of bounds, which he knew he needed to do to stop the clock.
Yeah, that was a smart play, Capaldi. He saw the pocket collapsing and he got out of there and also got out of bounds. And the first. It looks like he got the first.
The blockers, are they bringing it back here? They might have had a holding.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
I mean, just from where that flag is, they're going to mark it off from the point of the infraction.
And they're moving back. Yeah, that's holding.
And it was all that blocking for him that protected him, and then it laid open the entire field in front of him. So a gain of 10 and turns into a loss of 15 on the penalty. Loss of 12, really. 2nd and 22 from their own 33 with 1:04 to go in the first half, and a 7-7 deadlock here for Malvern Prep and Archbishop Wood. Capaldi from almost over on the left hash. He's looking to his trips right, fires it up the middle, cutting in. Stocker couldn't quite catch up to that ball, and it falls incomplete. There's some really good coverage in the secondary for Wood.
Yeah, so far Wood's been doing a good job of containing guys like D'Angelo and Lonnie. So, yeah, that's been what they've been doing all game.
And Capaldi is missing some of his targets, and it's not just him. This wind is pushing that ball around. I mean, we can see it visually.
Yeah, the wind's definitely been affecting both quarterbacks. And also at the pocket there, it's been collapsing all day. The Wood's been doing a good job of getting some pressure on Capaldi.
1 minute left first half. 3rd and 22. Boy, that holding really kills you. Up the middle, it is caught. Here comes White to the 45, out of bounds at the 42. And on 3rd and 22, it's a 25-yard reception and a first down for Malvern Prep.
I mean, that's what Lonnie could do. He caught that at around the logo and then got an extra 13 or 15 on the run.
Boy, oh boy.
That's what he does.
What a play. So on 3rd and 22, finally they find Lonnie White for a reception. They've had such tight coverage on him today. First down, 50 seconds left, still a lot of time. Airs it out for White, throws it up for grabs. He couldn't quite hang on. Always a good idea to just throw it up for grabs if it's Lonnie White one-on-one. It almost worked. Clock stops, 45 seconds left. Man, oh man, I mean, they don't even have any timeouts left. They used them on the last Archbishop Wood possession and 3 and out. 2nd and 10 from the 42. You figure you get to the 30, you've got a shot to try for a field goal. That would be a 47-yarder. Somewhere around there you can give it a go. And he fires it up the middle, intercepted. It was picked off by Andrew McHugh, who read his eyes and read the crossing pattern of D'Angelo Stocker.
Yeah, now Wood'll get a shot once again to put some points on the board before the half.
I don't know if they're going to go for that. They might just take a knee here and get to the locker room. But yeah, I mean, stopping Malvern's drive, that's the key here. That's a big interception because they're that close to one more big play for Lonnie or for a field goal try, taking the lead. They've got the ball. They've got the defense on the ropes a little bit, and they get an interception at a big moment. Trey Holzman, their second-string quarterback, running the show in the absence of the injured Max Keller, who got dinged up in back-to-back games against St. Joe's and LaSalle. Yeah, they will give it a try. Oh, look at that contact out there. Kind of took his legs out from under him. On the coverage was Sean McGuire. Looks like everyone's okay, thank goodness. And Andrew McHugh, who kind of went head over heels, is fine. 2nd down with 34 seconds left in the second quarter and a 7-7 tie here on this sunshiny and very windy Saturday afternoon from Malvern.
Yeah, now I wonder if they will run it out because that almost could have been picked there.
Seriously, and you want to talk about some secondary that can turn it into a pick six. They've had a couple of those this year already, and they're going to hand it off. Here comes Costello. And if he has blockers, turns it into something big, then that's great. And otherwise, it's a gain of 4. And with 25 seconds left here in the first half, upcoming is 3rd and 5 if they are going to run another play. And I have my doubts. And we're down to 12 seconds left.
I think that'll do it.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Do we have a play clock somewhere is my question. Yeah, they're trotting off. And, you know, this was an interesting first half, certainly lower scoring than I think we were expecting, and overall, especially defensively, I thought it was a very well-played, well-executed football first half.
Yeah, whether it's 7-7, 20-20, 35-35, both teams are tied right now, and that's probably what they're focused on. So we'll see how they respond in the second half here.
Malvern was having a really tough time moving the ball, especially in the first quarter. They were down 7-0 after that almost 10-minute drive for Archbishop Wood with 4:11 left in the first half. But then Lonnie White out of the quarterback position, and then the fake handoff on the end around opens up a wide open hole up the middle and a 62-yard touchdown sprint for the best player out there on either team, the best athlete out there. And that is why we are tied at 7-7. Halftime from Malvern, PA, along with Sonny Petricca. My name is Bob Rotruck. Thanks for joining us here on this windy Saturday afternoon on MPTV. Halftime back from Malvern, Pennsylvania. Bob Rotruck here with Sonny Petricca, and it's a 7-7 tie here at the half. And, you know, when we look at what we've had in this game, it's been a real defensive struggle, maybe a little surprisingly so. I was expecting a few more points from both of these teams.
Yeah, it's been defense, and more defense for both teams here. It's 7-7 after the first half, and they're looking to bounce back here.
Malvern got nothing going in the first quarter, and really they haven't had that many big offensive plays. The wind is visually pushing that ball around when every time Capaldi drops back.
Yeah, after that Lonnie White run, it looked like it could have been a momentum shifter, but yeah, after the Capaldi pick, it kind of settled things back to where it was. So
how about that play for Lonnie White and a 62-yard touchdown run late in the second quarter, right after they had given up that, you know, almost 10-minute drive there for Archbishop Wood, and he lines up at quarterback, fake the end around, and he keeps it himself in a gigantic hole after he had the little, you know, kind of misdirection there to get everybody going the other way.
Yeah, that's what you can expect out of Lonnie. He's a really good runner. He was doing that a lot last season when he was the full-time quarterback. And yeah, you saw it right there, 60-yard run. That's what he does.
We had a couple of chances here and some real chess match stuff at the end of the first half with a lot of timeouts. Archbishop Wood gets the ball with 2.5 minutes left, and Malvern is calling the timeouts. They get the ball back. They're trying to move into field goal position there. And you know, Reed's got the leg for it. The interception kind of killed him because they were closing in on maybe a go-ahead score.
Yeah, I think both teams are starting to realize this is going to be an offensive, like a game where both offenses are going to struggle, like with the wind, with the way the defenses are playing. So they're just trying to get points on the board any way they can.
Mostly what we are seeing in this game is that Archbishop Wood is still Archbishop Wood, and I think that there were some doubters out there after they got blown out of the water by St. Joseph's, which, you know, can happen to any team and does. And they also lost by a fairly convincing margin to LaSalle in a game that was actually closer. The injuries have been beating them up, but this is still a very good Archbishop Wood team. I don't know if they're a state championship caliber team, but they are still very strong. Yeah,
like we said in the beginning, if there's one thing this team knows how to do, it's win. And they've been doing that for the past couple of years, and no one really expects it to change anytime soon.
Second half is coming up. Malvern Prep and Archbishop Wood are tied at 7-7 on MPTV. And we're back. Hi, everyone. Bob Rotruck here along with Sonny Petricca. Second half is coming up, and Malvern's going to have the ball first. And, well, let's see what we can get out of Lonnie White. He made the one big play late in the first half. And otherwise, we haven't seen a whole lot of him. He has been more or less contained. Sometimes you say, well, we can't hope to contain him. But, in fact, Archbishop Wood primarily, I feel like, has actually successfully done so. Kickoff here coming from Shane Kirby, and he's going to squib that up there, and we get another whistle and another offside on a kickoff.
Yeah, if you
just like we had to begin the game.
Out like that too.
Isn't that incredible? So I don't know if that means the linesman over there is calling it a little too tight, or if we just have a coincidence. You know, I mean, it's such a fine line. You're a half yard behind the ball when it's kicked, or you're a half yard ahead.
Yeah, it's pretty odd it happened again, but
yeah, I mean, to see it happen both halves for the opening kickoff. And we see Kirby kind of arranging that ball on the tee just so, and hoping that the wind doesn't blow it over, which we haven't had happen. The wind isn't as bad down on the field. I was just walking down there at halftime. But once you get up in the air some, you're really feeling it, and whipping up here in the press box as well. Did a little stutter step on his way to that kickoff. Okay, that is going to be juggled and dropped and mishandled back there. Isaiah Wright is going to try to turn that into something. He can't fair catch it anymore, and he brought it back to the 10-yard line. Boy, that really eluded him and kind of spun and skidded around on the turf away from him. Very dangerous. That's a live ball. That could be a long onside kick if he doesn't come up with it.
Yeah, definitely a different start to the half, just based on the flag early on, and now that, the Friars will start with it at around the 12-yard line.
I'm looking at Robert Jackson up front for Archbishop Wood. Man, is he good. 30 D1 offers, and I mean, he can go almost anywhere he wants, but some of his offers include Pitt and Arizona State, Virginia Tech, Ole Miss. I mean, those are not some poor D1 programs. Those are some pretty good schools. All right, here's Capaldi, and on the handoff there, Isaiah Wright with a big hole. Looked like he was going to be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage, and instead he bounces off and turns it into a gain of 10 or more.
Yeah, that'll be a first.
And you got to keep it on the ground now. Listen to that wind. I mean, my goodness. And they tried to throw it up in the air and up for grabs and let Lonnie do his thing. And it's just so hard when the ball is kind of getting pushed around all over the place. My weather app said gusts up to 10 miles an hour here.
Yeah,
I mean,
mine said 9.
I mean, it's more than that. I promise you. We can feel it. All right, Jack Capaldi. Handoff again. No, play action. Keeps it himself. And on the keeper, strong arms away, one tackler, and still on his feet, and a nice pickup there. That's good work for Capaldi. Eventually run out of bounds by Luke Schaefer, but he turns that into more than 10 yards and a first down. Wow, that's a nice play.
Yeah, Capaldi can run it too.
And I mean, he strong-armed off that one tackler that was trying to take him down. Now we have a timeout somewhere here on the field, and Archbishop Wood is changing in a couple of players. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line for Malvern Prep, and everyone's kind of moving to different sides of the ball on this setup from the right hash. Lonnie White is going out to the wide side of the field. He's in the slot left. He was set up on the right, so they're changing their play as they go. Matthias and Stocker wide right. Oh, a bad snap over the head of Capaldi. Boy, he got there, and he does the smart thing and just crashes down on the ball. Yeah, he avoids a big disaster. I mean, it was already a disaster enough, but that could turn it into a great field position or a touchdown for Archbishop Wood if he tried to turn that play into something, which wasn't going to happen. So that's some pretty good wherewithal and heads up from Jack Capaldi on a play that had disaster written all over it.
Yeah, it's evident now. The team with the least mistakes is going to win this game.
2nd and 26 from their own 20-yard line. So this is a little bit of a problem. Boy, that was a wild snap too. Capaldi just throws out a little screen, and there's White shaking off one tackler and another, trying to strong arm one more. And he got some of them back, not too many, but a decent chunk. Nathan Taylor eventually brought him down. It's a gain of 10, and it brings up 3rd and 15, 3rd and 17 really. 3rd and 17 from their own 28. And you've got trips right with Matthias and Connolly and Stocker over there. And you got Lonnie White Jr., and they're trying to get him isolated. He's over on the short side of the field, wide left. And dropping back to throw on 3rd and long, airs it out, up for grabs, over the shoulder, caught by Matthias. Great catch, great pass.
Yeah, great ball by Capaldi there. He put it right on him.
That is a 55-yard reception to Matthias, down to the Archbishop Wood 25. First down for Malvern. Boy, he'd been trying to drop some of those in there all game long, and finally got one to hit after he had so many close calls.
And now it looks like Lonnie is back under center. Capaldi's on the sideline right now.
So Lonnie, who played quarterback last year, will he run it again here out of the quarterback position? And yes, he will after the fake handoff. And he cuts back the other way. Look at this, down the right sideline, and thrown out of bounds at about the 7 on a gain of 20. That looked like it was going to be a gain of 3.
Yeah, he started out going to his left, and then
right. Yeah, he saw it was all clogged up there.
He ended up near the right side, the pylon on the right side.
He's a terrific athlete with so much ability, but it's smarts that gets you the big gains on football plays like that, where a different player might have forced it right into the hole and then gotten nowhere. But he improvised on the fly. Jake Brownley enters the game. Yeah, here's Lonnie again, lining up at quarterback. It is 1st and goal from the 9. I thought he got out to the 7, but they spotted at the 9. And he's going to keep it himself. Just get him the ball and let him run. And he's almost to the goal line. He's brought down at the 1. I mean, every time he's taking the ball out of the quarterback position, they know there's a pretty good chance he's keeping it himself, and they still can't really stop him very easily. 2nd and goal from the 2. I mean, I see Capaldi on the sidelines, and he doesn't look hurt or anything. He's fine, but they're giving Lonnie White some reps here, taking the snap directly.
I have a feeling we know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I think so too. 2nd and goal from the 2. Lonnie White keeps it himself, pumps one way, ducks back the other, dives his way in, touchdown! Off left tackle for Lonnie White on his 3rd run in a row. And for the first time today, the Malvern Prep Friars take the lead at 13-7 on a 2-yard touchdown run for Lonnie White Jr.
I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, that seems like what's working for the Friars today. Lonnie just running around the field doing his thing.
8:08 to go, and you know, you almost wonder if Coach Dave Guerrera is thinking, maybe we should have been doing this all along. Why not? Extra point is good. And it's booted right through for Jake Reed. And Malvern almost made that look too easy, especially considering the offensive struggles they had at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, it looks like they found their stripes here to begin the second half.
Lonnie White, the 62-yard touchdown sprint with 2:55 to go in the first half, tied the game at 7-7. And now White with 8:03 to go in the third quarter on a 2-yard run. Ducking back one way, dodging the other, and cutting his way through to the goal line on his 3rd run in a row off of a direct snap. Just quarterback keepers, if you will, if you want to call it that. Just get the ball to your best athlete. And they've been trying to do it via the pass. They tried to connect with him, wind pushing it around. And so Dave Guerrera calls a different kind of an audible and says, let's just put him back there and let him do his thing. Now, obviously, they've run some of these plays in practice, but now they see that this is successful. And I don't know if we've seen the last of these direct snaps to Lonnie White and just let him do it. 14-7.
Yeah, if that's what gets points on the board, I don't see them going away from it.
If it's so hard to connect with them via the pass because of the wind and because they're secondary too. Let's give Wood some credit as well. All right, Reed is going to fire this one away through the end zone. Boy, that ball just floats up there sometimes. And I don't know if that's wind or if that's Reed's strength, but it just looks like it keeps on carrying and carrying.
It could be a combo of both.
I think so too. So McHugh was going to catch it back there. And it goes through his hands. He was 2 yards deep into the end zone, so he really didn't need to catch it. And on the touchback, Archbishop Wood and their first-year head coach Matt Walb, who stayed around after his sons were finished playing there, and they didn't know if he was going to, but he stays in as the head coach after the departure of Kyle Atkins. I mean, why not? This is a team with such tradition and a powerhouse with 6 state championships in the last decade, including that last second win at Hershey Park Stadium over Cheltenham last year. Well, there's a nice gain for Wood. Now, you know, we felt the tide starting to turn at the end of the first half. Now it's turned all the way. And you have 7:47 left in the third quarter, and you feel like the Vikings' backs are to the wall here. And you've got a lot of time left, but this is a big drive for them.
This is a pretty big drive for the Vikings. They need some points here.
All right, I think that's Costello in the backfield, man in motion as well. Yeah, that is Costello, and he goes around right end and kind of grabbed and pushed out of bounds all at the same time by the lacrosse standout, Cooper Frankenheimer, number 9 over there. He's going to North Carolina for a little lacrosse action. So that was good for a first down. 1st and 10 for the Vikings of Archbishop Wood from their own 35. Kalen Costello is in the backfield. And firing it out of the right flat is Trey Holzman. Did he catch that? Was that complete? Yeah, it was.
It looks like he got it.
Yeah, 2nd and 6. Every time I say Kalen Costello, this is before your time. There was a Paul Newman movie called The Verdict, and there was a key character named Caitlin Costello. And they say her name about a zillion times in the courtroom. So now, I got to throw that out there, because if you've seen the movie, you can't help but go there. Okay, so 2nd and 4. And there's Costello, and he doesn't really get very far, maybe a 1-yard pickup or so. No, more than that, actually. So up to the 40, and 3rd and 1, maybe 3rd and less than 1. With 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter and ticking, and Malvern Prep is now up for the first time today. The Friars 14, the Vikings 7. Bob Rotruck here alongside Sonny, Petricca, and boy, a big 3rd and 1 here for Archbishop Wood. Yeah, they can still move the ball offensively, and they're kind of getting Malvern on their heels some. Looked like that snap was almost dropped. They got all kinds of problems there on that handoff and on the offensive line. Malvern busts through, and they get a tackle for loss on Costello. It'll bring on the punting unit, it looks like, for Archbishop Wood. I think. Or are they going for it here? I take it back. It looks like, yeah. Well, now here comes Isaiah Wright to return. I don't think we know what they're going to do. Isaiah Wright can hustle back there if there's some sort of a pooch punt or something. I mean, it's 4th and 1 from their own 39. I don't think Coach Matt Walp.
With the way the Friars offense is looking right now, I'd be surprised if they went for it and risked giving the Friars the ball at around the 40.
6:05 to go, 3rd quarter. I mean, this is 4th and 2. He just lost a yard. Yeah, they're going for it. They can try to draw him off sides, but I think that this is what they're thinking of as 4-down territory. They've had a couple of good offensive plays on this drive. Out of the power I don't think he got there. I don't think he got there.
It's real close.
They give him the first down.
Wow.
Boy, that's one heck of a spot.
Yeah, Wood's been getting lucky with the spots today so far.
We can hear the Malvern coaches. They're not happy on that spot. So it's a first down for Archbishop Wood. First down from their own 41 after they went for it on 4th and 2. All right, here is Holzman. Looked like he was wanting to throw deep, and instead he throws it underneath for Ryan Wirtz. And a gain of a couple, and that is it. And some good coverage on the play from Ryan Davis.
Yeah, that was Ryan Davis.
He was right on top of him there.
Yeah, Ryan was all over that one.
2nd and 8 from their own 43. Boy, yards are just at a premium here for both offenses. 14-7, Malvern at 3-0 against an Archbishop Wood team at 2-2 this year. That pass might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think that was Cole Deary who got a piece of that one at the line.
I think Deary got it too. 30 D1 offers. He can go pretty much wherever he wants. Can the 6'3" tall, 275-pound junior lineman. I feel like offensive lineman would be his future, but I've been wrong before, and he plays on the defensive line as well.
Yeah,
and I mean, he gets to the ball quickly, so I mean, I might not be correct on that.
Yeah, whatever side of the ball he does end up playing on, I think will be good either way.
A lot of coaches are drooling for him. All those D1 offers. Okay, 3rd and 8. And here's Holzman in trouble. Oh, he throws it away. It is intercepted. This is going to be a pick 6, Brownley. It looks like.
That was Brownley.
That's Jake Brownley again. Not his first rodeo with a pick 6. Brownley did this exactly the same way in week 1. It's a 35-yard interception return for a touchdown with 4:30 left in the 3rd quarter, and it's 20-7 Malvern.
A huge play. In a game filled with defense, we finally see a turnover for the Friars. That was huge. Second one of the game.
They have had so many interceptions and pick 6s this year. 4:30 left. That's a killer. After Wood went for it on 4th down and got it. And who was chasing after him? Because he had a couple. Holzman was, running right. Had a couple guys as that extra point is good. He had a couple of guys bearing down on him and breathing down his neck and forcing that hurried throw. And And Brownley read it all the way, and see you later. Holzman should have thrown that away. He knows that now.
Yeah.
Too late now. Look at Coach Guerrera out here talking with the officials.
Yeah,
You know, there have been
what that's
about the spot
Yeah,
on that
probably
previous
the
first
spot.
down. And I mean, there were a couple of other plays where Malvern fans, and obviously we don't have a full house here when we normally would, which makes our broadcast all the more important. And we're happy to be able to bring this to you in some way, shape, or form. We wish you could be here. It's a nice enough day. I mean, a little chilly, but really for mid-November, this is about as ideal as you could hope for. Just sort of pushing our way through this very unusual and weird 2020 season. Now we're just happy is happening at all after we were so close so many times. It looked like it wasn't going to happen, then it was, then it wasn't, and now it is. And we actually get to see him playing football. Look at that kickoff. That one
kick.
went across the end zone untouched. And that's not wind. That's just
I don't think that is wind. The wind.
No. Jake Reed can go be a kicker at, you know, a lot of schools, almost wherever he wants to go as well. The number 1 rated kicker in Pennsylvania, number 16 in the country, had a 44-yarder a couple of weeks ago, had a 37-yarder for the win at halftime to put Malvern up on the road in Princeton against Hun. And you see those kickoffs and those touchbacks, and man, is he something else with that leg. We knew it already, but he's had a couple kickoffs today, which will go on his highlight video. I guarantee you. That one, as he kicked it through the end zone, landing on the opposite side of the back line this season, I would hazard to say he maybe hasn't done that yet. Well, here on an end around, picking up a few yards out there for a gain of maybe 6 or so. That was Costello again. And 2nd and 5 is coming up for Archbishop Wood. But that pick 6 there for Jake Brownley, that's the killer, and that is going to deflate this team in a big-time way. All right, Holzman under center this time instead of the shotgun. Handoff got nowhere. Nowhere at all for Costello. That was 51. That was Deary.
That was Deary
Yeah,
again.
that was Deary with that. I thought it was. I wanted to make sure after he got up. And the big guy got up. And, I mean, he just gets through that block. And that's a tackle for loss for Deary, or tackle for no gain. And, I mean, obviously they're keying on Deary, and they know he's a force. All right, 3rd and 5. Costello in the backfield. Holzman out of the shotgun this time, and sidecar left. There's a handoff again to Costello. He's going to go off a right tackle. Got pretty much nowhere that time as well. Catania on the tackle there. Had 2 interceptions in the game against Hun, including one of them with a minute left. That sealed the 10-8 win and ended it for Princeton Hun. This is 4th and 1. They went for it on 4th and 2 from, their own 40 or 37. Here they're at their own 29, and they're down by 2 scores at 21-7. So, yep, they're going to go for it. And I'm guessing give it to Costello again. And Costello is sidecar right of Holzman. He's right alongside him at his hip practically attached to him. And there's the handoff. And, yeah, he dives forward across the 30. Does Costello for a first down for the Archbishop Wood Vikings with 2:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Malvern Prep now taking control. Took him a while. First quarter and the majority of the 2nd quarter, nothing.
Yeah, you mentioned Aiden Catania earlier. All these Malvern seniors have been really stepping up on the defensive side of the football this season so far.
Holzman, handoff, Costello again. How many carries does he have? Well, this one not going anywhere at all. A tackle for loss. And that's 21, Ryan Davis, who got through there. And, you know, you see the war of attrition in the trenches in a football game. And, you know, both sides have some muscle down low on the lines. But now Malvern's getting through. They're kind of wearing down these poor offensive linemen of Archbishop Wood. There's just not a whole lot there for Costello. They're going to spread it out now.
Yeah, that front seven for the Friars has been doing a real good job so far.
Holzman airs it out and overthrew everyone. Incomplete. And it brings up, what do we have now? Third down?
3rd and 12.
Yeah, that was David Piotrowski, who was the intended receiver there. Hey, if you're seeing close-ups of these guys on the video and you can see their numbers, we don't have a monitor. You're the ones that can see them. We're from way up high here. I'm looking through binoculars and trying to read these yellow numbers on white jerseys. So you might be saying, how can you not see what his number is? Well, it's easier if you're getting that close-up on the video. So you're getting a good look, and we're trying to catch up to where you are watching, watching at home. Okay, so now 3rd and 12 from their own 30. And Holzman fires it out of the right sideline, incomplete over there as well. And some good coverage for Cooper Frankenheimer again. The 5'10 senior on his way to become a North Carolina Tar Heel as a lacrosse player. Did he catch that? Oh, he caught it. I beg your pardon. He caught it. And it's a first down for Archbishop Wood. Well, that's a nice catch over there. Thought it was overthrown. First down from their own 43, last minute of the 3rd quarter now. Trey Holzman drops back to throw again. He's looking left, has a receiver. Oh, he was going for broke for the interception, but instead finds he finds Andrew McHugh, and he kind of cut back there. They give him a first down. Yeah, they mark it down to the 47. First down. Wood is moving the ball a little bit. Maybe one more play here before the end of the 3rd quarter. Christian Curatolo, who's on his way to Lehigh University, number 65, checks into the game on defense as well. A couple guys are going to be future Lehigh Mountain Hawks in the Patriot League. Holzman airing it out, a ton now. And is that almost intercepted? It was almost, but not quite. Catania breaks up the play and kind of trapped it. So incomplete with 11 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And it's 21-7 Malvern Prep with a couple of touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter to break a 7-7 halftime tie. Holzman went way over to the sideline to check in with offensive coordinator Leo Plensky and head coach Matt Walp. As his play, here we go. I mean, they get one of them back here, even if it's a sustained drive, and then all of a sudden you're putting yourself in position here to make this a game again. Handoff, and here's Costello, dodges a couple of tacklers, tripped up ultimately by Curatolo, and diving forward to about the 37. This might be another first down, depending on the spot, and it looks like they're going to give that to him, yeah. First down to the 37. That does it for the 3rd quarter. And, hey, the Vikings aren't out of this yet. They're moving the ball well, and their drive to continue going the opposite way in the 4th quarter forthcoming. Malvern Prep 21, Archbishop Wood Vikings 7 on MPTV. Kalen Costello has touched the ball a lot today, but right now, dropping back to throw, airing it out, deep. Did he catch that down in the corner? Yes! That's a heck of a catch there.
Oh, wait.
Is it incomplete?
He didn't get a foot in, yeah.
Oh, he caught it out of bounds. I thought that was a little iffy on the celebration on such a great catch for Roman Filippo. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the Malvern Prep 37-yard line. And the Friars up 21-7. Couple receivers wide right, including Andrew McHugh, who seems to be kind of everywhere today. But he's going to throw it left, tipped around, almost intercepted. Oh, that was so close there.
That was Catania there with the deflection.
And he had a teammate there that almost came up with it. Matthias was somewhere in the vicinity. Or no, that's is that Stocker 4? Yeah.
Yes,
well,
that's D'Angelo.
yeah, it was tipped around. Had a shot. They've had a couple of close calls on extra interceptions after they already had the Jake Brownley pick 6 just a few minutes ago with 4:30 left in the third quarter. Another big third down conversion opportunity here for Archbishop Wood. 3rd and 10. This is 4-down territory again. Down by 14 points certainly at the Malvern 37. All right, dropping back to throw. Here's Holzman. Has a receiver caught. Can he get anywhere close to the first down marker? I don't think so.
I think he's 2 yards short.
Yeah, Piotrowski got up to about the 30. 4th down, and another 4th down attempt here. 4th and 3 from the 30. With 11:44 to go in the fourth quarter. So we've had 2 or 3 plays, and they've been incompletions or out of bounds, and the clock has stopped, which certainly helps Archbishop Wood. They need a longer game here to try to come back down 2 touchdowns after they were up 7-0. Now trailing 21-7. Boy, this is a heck of a good game. All right, in the backfield with him this time is A.J. Minners. On 4th and 3, drops back to throw. Up the middle, complete. Right through the 2 secondary men. And a first down for Archbishop Wood on the pass to Ryan Wartz.
That's a really big play there. I mean, if Wood didn't convert there, I think with the way the Friars' offense is going, that might have put a bow on this game. But now they got a new set of downs.
Yep, and Kalen Costello checks into the game again. I thought Minners was in there 21, but that is Costello, and I think it was on the last play too. And a handoff there. And he tried to deceive the defense. Did Holzman. Costello got a couple out of that. Not much, but a gain of 3 brings up 2nd and 7 from the 15. And this is another sustained drive for Archbishop Wood, just like they had from the end of the first quarter until deep into the second quarter when they took that 7-0 lead. That's their only score of the game, was on a sustained drive, just like this one, really. All right, Holzman, and he's got trip receivers wide left, throws it for the end zone, intercepted.
That's Stocker.
There you go. There's D'Angelo Stocker. He goes airborne on a pass up for grabs. Maybe almost juggled it a little bit, it looked like. But he hangs on for the interception, the 2nd of the game for Malvern Prep. Right when Archbishop Wood was on the verge of making it a 1-score game, they had it down to the Malvern 15.
Yeah, that was a backbreaker there, especially there inside the 10 or inside the 15 for Wood. They're going to want that one back.
That was not a smart throw, probably,
yeah,
from Trey Holzman, who overall I think has performed pretty decently. He's their backup quarterback. He's not their star like Max Keller, who won a state championship for Archbishop Wood last year. Well, now it brings up, what do you, first down from their own 1? Yeah, it would have been nice if he had been in the end zone when he caught that. We see Catania enter the game into the backfield. They're just trying to give themselves a little space to breathe. And they've got a little bit and more on the handoff there to Isaiah Wright, who cuts his way off of left tackle and turned that into a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 from their own 6 for Malvern Prep. 10:20 left in the fourth quarter and counting, and a 21-7 lead. All right, here's Lonnie White Jr., and he's kind of lined up in the right slot. Is he going to go wider than that? And yes, he will. Not too far out. And here's a little high snap to Capaldi out of the shotgun, airs it out. Oh, what a nice catch turning over the shoulder. There's Lonnie White Jr. making the grab out to the 34. Got him in single coverage. Throw it up for grabs, and Lonnie White hauls it in.
Ever since that pick to end the first half, Capaldi has been flawless here to begin the second half.
Yeah, you thought that interception late in the first half, that was a momentum boost for Archbishop Wood just when Malvern had it going. Malvern went to halftime, and they come back out roaring. 2 touchdowns in the third quarter and moving out on a drive that started from their own 1. Oh, there's a bad snap launched over that of Capaldi, and now it's booted around, picked up by Archbishop Wood. Isaiah Wright tried to fall on it, and it squirted away from him, and the Vikings will have the ball recovered at the Malvern Prep 1-yard line. You want to talk about turning points, all of a sudden Archbishop Wood is back in this game.
It's which team is going to make the least amount of mistakes this game. It looked like the Friars had this game in the palm of their hand, and now Wood's all of a sudden right back in it.
That's the second snap that has been airmailed way over the head of Jack Capaldi. First and goal from the 1, and Archbishop Wood can make it a 1-score game. They were in big-time trouble after that interception when they were on the verge of scoring. Power I formation. Quarterback keeper. And Holzman keeps it himself and takes it in. Touchdown for the Archbishop Wood Vikings. And Trey Holzman makes it a 1-score game. That comes with 9:21 left in the fourth quarter. Football can be a goofy game sometimes. I mean, it really felt like, okay, that's it. Malvern's got this locked up.
And just like that.
Yeah, not so
it's a
fast.
One-score game.
Yeah, right after that bad snap fumble. The extra point, it is up and it is good. Boy, oh boy. And all it would have taken would have been for Wright to fall on the ball instead of squirt away, and now you've got second or third and long, but at least you can punt it away.
Yeah, you see that happen a lot. It's harder than it looks to recover that fumble when everyone's coming at you like that.
Okay, so all of a sudden we've got a football game again. We had a 7-7 tie at halftime. Malvern was kind of blowing them out of the water in some ways in the third quarter. I mean, Archbishop Wood had a couple of drives that fizzled out, but a couple touchdowns for Malvern in the third. They took a 21-7 lead. They were moving the ball off of their own 1-yard line after the interception when Wood was about to score, and we just saw Wood with a decent drive before that interception on the last time they had the ball. So they're moving the ball okay here, aside from the interception stuff. So if and when they get the ball back, if it's still a 1-score game, they absolutely have a shot with 9:21 left in the fourth quarter.
This is a huge drive for the Friars here. They got to try to get back on track if they want to hold this lead.
Okay, here comes the big boot, and it'll be brought back. Dodges away, and then it got slammed down. Boy, some big hitting down there with a couple of strong teams. And now let's see what Malvern can bring to the table. With 9:16 left in the fourth quarter, and this is different from the close game that Malvern played at Princeton Hun. That was sloppy. This has had some turnovers at the wrong times too, but it doesn't feel like, well, they're finding a way to win despite playing bad. This is a really good game between two really good teams. All right, Capaldi will start it up again. Handoff, big hole. Isaiah Wright into the open field, and with big speed across the 50 to the 45.
Big run by Isaiah Wright there. I mean, we've seen that all game so far. Little chunks, 10 yards, 5 yards, and then now we see a 40-yard gain there. That was huge.
21-14 Malvern, clock rolling with 9 minutes even to play in the fourth quarter, and the ball is in the opponent's side of the 50, and we haven't seen that much and said that much today. Oh, big hit behind the line of scrimmage, and Isaiah Wright got smacked pretty hard and knocked down Second down, and 14 is coming up. You hear that wind in our mics. I mean, what can we do? We're on top of the press box here, and it's pretty windy, especially way up high. And we've seen it affect some of the passes today as well. Capaldi, shotgun, has Wright with him in the backfield, handoff to Wright, and he turns the corner around left end. There's a nice gain. After a loss of 3, he got about 8 of them back, and it should bring up 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 or so, I guess. Under 8 minutes to go, fourth quarter. At the 39-yard line, this is 4-down territory too. We've said that phrase a lot today for both teams. All right, Capaldi shotgun and sidecar right is Isaiah Wright, and he's had a lot of touches today. Lonnie White Jr. is wide left. It's a handoff to Wright. Oh, they penetrated there on the line of scrimmage, and they'll bring him down. Robert Jackson, the 3-star athlete, who wraps him up and slams him down, 4th down, and I thought it was 4-down territory, and I guess think again, because it looks like
Storm's coming out.
Yeah, Malvern wants to play the territorial game, and I can hardly blame him here, especially on 4th and 8. That's a different story than 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. So here's Ronan Swope to punt it away. 2 men deep for Archbishop Wood in a 1-touchdown game, 21-14. With 7 minutes to go. He just got rid of it. Contact on the punt. That'll be a rough in the kicker. That'll be a rough in the kicker. And probably going to give him a first down out of that. And let's see. He almost got the block. But the rough in the kicker penalty comes at a really, really bad time. In a game where we haven't had hardly any penalties at all. And we've had some physicality and some shoving around on passes into the end zone. And they've let them get away with some of the physicality. We had a roughing the passer, when was that? The second quarter, I feel like. And we got a roughing the kicker here, and it's a first down for Malvern. Wow. Every other, series of downs, it feels like we've got a big turning point in the game. Yeah. Oh, here's the turning point. No, the last one was the turning point. 6:49 to go, fourth quarter, first down from the 26 of the Archbishop Wood Vikings. Handoff, Isaiah Wright, and he's slammed down behind the line of scrimmage. Robert Jackson was in there again. Had a little help also. Man, Rob Jackson can play. And again, he's on his way to some big D1 program. He's had offers from Mississippi and Virginia Tech and Pitt and Arizona State, among others, of his 30 or so D1 offers.
He's been a big bright spot on this Wood defense so far.
And anybody that didn't offer him, if he told them that he'd like to play there, I bet they would listen. So you really consider it 100 D1 possibilities in 30 official offers. Here is Lonnie White taking the snap himself and trying to make it happen. He's going to cut back inside and underneath, and, well, maybe a gain of 4 or so after Lonnie White was taking the snap. So, and really, they're not giving him much of a spot. I thought it was a gain of more than that. It will be 3rd and 10 from the Wood 26, under 6 minutes to go, fourth quarter. And from the 26, that's a 43-yard field goal try. They're going to try it for Jake Reed to attempt to make it a 2-possession game. The wind is blowing more across the field, not in his face. And we've seen Reed get the ball up in the air, and man, it looks like the air has helped carry it some. He's had a strong leg today. So if they don't get anywhere here on this 3rd down, I wouldn't be surprised if they try it for a 43-yarder to make it a 10-point game. But before we get to that point, we're going to have timeout called for Malvern. Looked like they were a little disorganized trying to figure out, who's going to go where and what play are we going to run, and the play clock was winding down, so they called a timeout with 5:20 left in the fourth quarter, and a Malvern Prep on a couple of touchdowns for Lonnie White with a 21-14 lead.
Yeah, that timeout's definitely the right call there for the Friars.
This is the kind of game where you would say, hey, this is the kind of tight, intense battle that helps you get to playoff ready, which is off the table here. But it's where you kind of look at this style of game, this has a playoff intensity to it. It really does. And you get precious few of those sometimes, you know, because it's hard to schedule tough opponents every week in conference or out of conference. But these are two well-matched opponents kind of duking it out blow for blow. And it's been very enjoyable to watch. Matthias and Stocker are wide left. I'm assuming that's White behind center in the shotgun here. Alongside him is Isaiah Wright. So yeah, Lonnie White has taken the snap directly himself. Fake handoff, flags fly, whistle blows, and a false start there. They got a little jumpy, and I think that false start might have been Stocker, who was coming back on the end around.
I think it was too. He was
the fake end around. It was a fake handoff. Yeah, he went into motion too early. So now on the penalty, it's 3rd and 15 from the 31. 5:18 left. That's an awful lot of time for Archbishop Wood. And now, yeah, they're going to change their play here. And Jack Capaldi goes back in at quarterback. Lonnie White on the wide side of the field. He's way over by the left sideline. And their running back Wright is in the left slot. So open backfield, 5 receivers. Capaldi is looking at White. He's covered. Capaldi keeps it himself, and it all fell apart on him. And he's hauled down. And look at the celebration dance for Rob Jackson. And that takes him out of any realistic field goal range. The penalty and then the sack, because they had the ball up at the 26, so that's a 43-yarder. Penalty makes it a 51-yarder. Probably not going to go for that, and obviously definitely not now. But right before that, before their false start, yeah, they have a chance at a 43-yarder to take a 2-score lead. So this really fell apart quickly for Malvern and keeps Archbishop Wood alive, and you can see the emotions there for Rob Jackson on that big play. Oh, we got an injured player downfield there for Malvern, way downfield on the opposite side, with 4:47 left in the 4th quarter. And it's going to be a punt coming up, one assumes, for Malvern from the 39. That's number 1.
That's Cal Matthias there.
Yeah.
He came off limping.
They're looking at his leg.
Sometime in the 3rd quarter, he came off limping. So I think it's that same leg.
And I mean, you assume that there wasn't, I mean, we're not even looking at him. We're looking at the quarterback getting sacked. You assume there wasn't a whole lot of contact out there, so you wonder if he feels a hammy pull or something of that nature, because it shouldn't have been a collision or a violent type of injury, I don't think.
Yeah, definitely a non-contact, because where he's at right now is 30 yards from where the ball's at.
I mean, you can be shoving around on the defender, but again, and he's trying to get open for his quarterback who's in trouble, but it seems more likely anyway that it might be some sort of a muscle pull, or I mean, you can twist ankles and twist knees running on your own as well, of course. So this is a long look there at Kellen Matthias and the future Lehigh University Mountain Hawk, who will be potentially a 2-sport athlete there as a lacrosse player and a football player. And it brings us a long break here in this game, with 4:59 left in the 4th quarter, and Malvern is on the verge of punting it away, and I think that is Ronan Swope, who was into the game. Yeah, that's number 7, Swope, but they're trying to get Matthias to his feet as best they can, and he's going to be helped off the field. Well, now he's kind of, I mean, he's walking gingerly, but at least he's able to okay on his own, and the head coach, Dave Guerrero, went all the way out there to check on him as well. All right, so 2 men are deep to return for the Vikings and potentially their last gasp. Andrew McHugh and Ryan Wirtz, with Ronan Swope on to punt it away from the Archbishop Wood 39, protecting a 7-point lead, 21-14 for Malvern with 4:52 to go. Low snap, and coming up with it is Swope, and here's a high punt, and it'll bounce at the 10. Can they down it? They can. They all converged on the football there. That is 56.
Luke
Guerrero. How about that? So the Guerrero kid gets all the way down there, and he caught it on maybe one bounce at the 4-yard line. And Archbishop Wood has to go the length of the field and they have to score a touchdown. They're down by 7, so they have to go length of the field to tie or potentially go for 2, I guess. They got time to do it. 4:43 left in the fourth quarter, and it looked like it was kind of in the bag for Malvern after Jake Brownley's pick 6 at 21-7. Another interception when Archbishop Wood threw to the goal line, and it was intercepted at the 1, but then the high snap over Capaldi's head that turned into a touchdown made it a 1-score game, but now they've got 96 yards to go. In the backfield is Costello, and the handoff. And, he might have fumbled there. Everybody is signaling that the ball is loose. It was fumbled. It is recovered by Malvern Prep. It was recovered by Dale Law, number 18. Third turnover of the game for the Vikings. And, man, their turnovers have come at some terrible times here in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's Dale Law's second fumble recovery of this game.
So
yeah,
it's
well, the
four,
first half, too. That's 4.
And it's 4 turnovers because the fumble in the first half and the second half and 2 interceptions. And you want to talk about a team shooting themselves in the foot somewhat, but turnovers, I insist, are not just something that you're doing wrong. All right, keeping it himself. Here's right for the goal line. Touchdown! So Malvern is getting in there, forcing those turnovers. It's a difference maker. And with 4:35 to go in the game, it's 28-14 Malvern Prep.
And just like that, a minute ago, Wood had the ball down there, the chance to tie it up, and now all of a sudden it's a 2-possession game once again.
Okay, here comes Jake Reed for the extra point. And man, does he look good as a kicker, and that is all the way through. And he's getting to show off his kicking chops here. So Isaiah Wright with the 4-yard touchdown run. One play after the fumble recovery again for Law, and his second of the game for number 18, Dale Law. Could be a really different game if it hadn't been for Malvern forcing these turnovers. Archbishop Wood has had chances in this game. And I even asked their offensive coordinator, Leo Plinsky, you had the fumble in the third quarter against LaSalle when it was 7-0. They had the ball at the LaSalle 27, and they fumbled it on the next play. And he said, well, otherwise we've been good on turnovers, but not so much today.
Not today.
It's been a different story today. Malvern had the pick 6 earlier for Jake Brownley. 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries for Law. 28-14 with 4:35 to go. And Reed will boot it away. And it should be Warts and McHugh deep to return, I think, and I believe this is Warts, and here he comes. Yeah, he has some holes there and dives across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And the Vikings again. You tend to panic a little bit when you're starting at your own 1 or 4-yard line, as both teams have done a couple of times here. I mean, they're backed into your own area, and you're just trying to get yardage, and he went right into that pile on that run, and someone stripped it before Law recovered. I don't know, Law might have been the one to strip it also.
Yeah, it was no surprise. That front 7 for the Friars has been all over Wood today. So it was no surprise they got the pressure on them there.
And there we see Dale Law lined up at left end of the front 4. And Holzman airs it out, almost intercepted, juggled around, complete. What a catch! What a catch for Cardell Pigford, who caught the championship-winning catch at Hershey Park Stadium last year after it looked like Stocker might have had the pick.
If there's any bright spot in this offense this game, it's been Pigford. That's his 3rd great catch of the game so far.
That was a really exciting catch that was almost intercepted, but it kind of tipped up there for D'Angelo Stocker. So the Vikings are moving the ball again, down by 2 touchdowns with 4:05 to go in the fourth quarter. And it's Trey Holzman out of the shotgun. He's going to drop back and fire it up the middle to nobody. And little crossing pattern for Ryan Warts, and he threw it right behind his left ear, it looks like. Incomplete with 3:56 to go in the game. Well, I'm kind of liking this Interact versus Philly Catholic League
Yeah,
showdown.
I get used to this.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind a few more of these. Maybe they'll make it happen. Everything was weird this year, and everyone's kind of scheduling sometimes in the last minute. Hey, we need an opponent. You need an opponent. Should we play? Let's go ahead. It's so weird to hear teams say that. Fired out of the left flat. That might be A.J. Minners over there. And it might have been Costello, actually. I thought I saw 21, but it was still 20. So 3rd and 5 from the Malvern 35. He got out of bounds, so the clock is stopped with 3:30 to go, and he did not get out of bounds. The clock is moving with 3:25 left.
And this is without a doubt 4-down territory here.
Oh, yeah, well,
So-
they're down by 14. And he has 3 receivers wide right. Does junior quarterback Trey Holzman. He can sling it pretty decently. Fires it out left side. It is caught out of the backfield. Was Costello getting out there to the left sideline. And he's going to turn that into a first down, get up to the 30-yard line. Archbishop Wood moving the ball again. But they're running out of time, and they're down by 14.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how slow Wood's been moving so far with 3 minutes
Yeah.
left, down by 2 possessions here.
That is true. First down from the 29 of Malvern Prep. All right, long count. And dropping back, and was that tipped at the line of scrimmage? Looked like it was. So incomplete, stops the clock with 2:41 remaining. Andrew Connolly over to the sideline. Rob Prince, the sophomore, is checking in and getting some reps here in this game. .241 to go, and a 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. 2 receivers on each side with the ball on the left hash, and Holzman airs it out again, and incomplete. Stocker for Malvern was the closest to that ball. Steve Rose, the Delaware commit, was in the area as well, but not close enough to turn that into another interception. 3rd down. Lonnie White was a little slower to get going in this game. Ultimately, he ends up with 2 touchdowns anyway, even though he hasn't exactly been getting the most touches in this game. The only touches he really got, for the most part, were when he took the snap directly and then ran it himself. All right, firing it out on the left sideline. Broken up over there by Stocker. Nice coverage. Will bring up 4th down. Well, this looks like it will go down as the 4th win of the season for Malvern Prep, an Archbishop Wood team on its way to fall into 2 and 3 potentially, with losses to St. Joe's and LaSalle and Malvern. I mean, I laugh at that because it's not even fair, but they don't back down from tough challenges. They've played some of the best teams in the country out of state as well. They want these big challenges to set themselves up for their state championship runs, which they have had more often than not in the last decade. All right, here's Holzman. Oh, that's intercepted. Easy pick for Matthias. 3rd interception of the game for Malvern Prep, and he's going to bring that back almost to the 50-yard line. Kellen Matthias goes airborne for the interception with 2:20 to go. 5 turnovers from Archbishop Wood.
That's definitely not what you want to see, but on the other side of the ball, the Friars are looking really good so far on defense, just throughout the whole season.
He doesn't have much choice but to force the passes there. He's forced a couple, but the reason he's forcing it is because the secondary has been covering those receivers pretty darn well. And I mean, Stocker, how many breakups of passes has he had today? I would say he's had a few, yeah, at least. And there's a big pick for Matthias. We had a pick 6 earlier for Jake Brownley as well. Here's a handoff to Isaiah Wright. Gain of a couple, tackled by Nate Taylor. And we're down to 2:10 to go in the game. 2nd and 8 from the 50, and the timeout is called by Archbishop Wood. So they still are harboring hopes of getting the ball back, and they need 2 touchdowns here. But they're calling timeouts to see if they can force a 3 and out. And then it would take a couple of miracle plays after that, including an onside kicks recovery. So the odds are certainly stacked against them, but they're not throwing in the towel yet on this one. So timeout for Matt Walp's Archbishop Wood Vikings. Malvern next week against Roman Catholic. After that, looking for an opponent. And I mean, they are openly advertising. I see it on Twitter. Hey, we want to play over Thanksgiving weekend. Please, will somebody play us? I mean, it sounds like a bunch of, 7-year-olds at the playground. Do you want to play with me? Honestly, it's so weird in the coronavirus era. Archbishop Wood has a game coming up against Bonner Pendergrass. And, I mean, that's a team that was eliminated from the playoffs because of their COVID situation, but they're going to come back from their COVID situation, and they get to play out the schedule anyway. So that's sort of an interesting side story as well. So many teams have had their playoff dreams dashed. Wright was tackled for a loss, then escapes out of it, and he turns it into a gain of 1.
That was a pretty good game by Isaiah there. That should have been a loss of 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that was Rob Jackson that he escaped from, too. So
not an easy task there.
3rd down from the 49. Timeout again for the Vikings with 1:59 remaining in the 4th quarter. So you have teams that don't get to fulfill on their playoff aspirations because their league was almost canceled and they started the season late, as you get here for these teams. And then you get others that were in, and what was it, Newman Goretti was one of them. I mean, among others, about ready to play their playoff game, and whoops, a COVID case, and you get a shutdown at your school, and you're just dodging bullets, and you don't even know if you're going to get to play from one week to the next. One player on your side or from the other side, and then your game is canceled because it's too short notice to find an opponent. It's a wacky season, and every single week you get to play a game at all, consider that a success, because there are a lot of teams that didn't get to because of the nature of the pandemic and trying to play sports, and these teams are making it work as best they can, and it's not easy. And there's a lot of uncertainty, and it makes it so weird feeling for the kids. And so you get coaches saying, just focus on the next drill at practice. Don't think about that other stuff.
Take what you can get.
I mean, let's just keep your heads down and keep chopping is the phrase that Dave Guerrera, the coach of Malvern, likes to use. I read it in an article. He said it to me directly. So I get the impression that he has said that, probably said the word chopping maybe 1,000 times in the last few weeks. If he's saying it to me, I know he's saying it to his players too. All right, so right at a gain of 3 or 4 there. It is 4th and 3 from the 45 with another timeout. That's their 3rd one for Archbishop Wood. And they're on the verge of getting the ball back. One assumes you can go for it here on 4th down, and that would seal the deal. Or punt it away and try to pin them there. I mean, the last time they punted it, they put them right down at the 4 for crying out loud.
Ended up scoring on it.
Yeah, they are going to punt it, so here comes Ronan Swope. I didn't think they were going to go for it, but, they didn't ask me, and you never know. And for all of these kids, not just to play games, not just for fun, but you've got college opportunities and scholarship offers and everything else on the line via playing these games, and not just the D1 kids like Lonnie White and Colton Deary, but D2 and D3 kids, they care about their college futures too, of course. All right, here's Swope, and that's not quite as good a punt. He tried to aim it for the corner and didn't really do so. Oh, they don't fair catch it. He just picked it up after it was bouncing a couple of times. Why not? And he takes it to the 31, and he might have been able to break free if he had caught him off guard. You've seen a couple of those happen before. A couple of bounces, a team is hesitating to down it, and then the other guy just sneaks right in and says, thank you very much.
Yeah, he was a man away from maybe making something out of that.
Yeah, he really was, because he could have had that whole far sideline from us on the Archbishop Wood bench side. And wouldn't have that been had been interesting if he turned that into a 75-yard return and made it a one-score game right there. So, yeah, definitely it was worth the gamble. So one more chance here for the Vikings to try to cut into this 14-point lead of Malvern Prep. 28-14 with 1:41 to go. Lobbed over the middle, and it is caught and some big contact down there. Boy,
Looks
oh boy.
like there's a flag.
Yeah. And I
Right
don't know.
near
I don't know what to tell you about that wind, everyone. I mean, I know it's been part of our audio for most of the day. What can we do? it's windy up here where we are. We even have wind screens on the microphone, but it sounds like we're calling it in a hurricane.
And there was a flag on the side near us.
All right, so are they calling a false start, or did somebody see a hold, or what's the deal here with 1:10 remaining in the fourth quarter? And this is an awfully long conversation for these officials. Trying to figure this out while both teams are standing around wanting to get on to the next play.
It'll be on wood, I think.
Yes, it's on wood. Illegal procedure. They had to talk about it a little bit there and figure it out. Yeah, it was way over here on the near sideline, so good eye. You couldn't even see the flag there. Right in front of Coach Guerrera. Second and 15 from their own 28. And the score is Malvern Prep 28, Archbishop Wood 14. And wind that clock. Trey Holzman in the shotgun. And to his right side is Kalen Costello. Now kind of flushed out of the pocket. Somebody got a hand on him. Tucks it, keeps it himself, gets over to the left sideline, and out of bounds. And Andrew Connolly almost had a sack for himself right there, it looked like. Was that 3? I think it was. Get some of these other guys in there, getting some reps. All right, 50 seconds left, and you're spreading it out pretty good here. Here's Holzman, throws it out there, and out of the backfield is caught for Costello. Well, he's had a really nice game. He just keeps on powering through. Yeah, I mean, he's got to have 30 rushes today.
Yeah, he's gotten the
and
ball
a couple
lot,
catches,
lot of touches.
couple catches too. 3rd and 1, and they go into hurry here with the clock running and 30 seconds left. Wood already used all their timeouts. Fired up the middle, it is a first down. That ball is caught by Cardell Pigford, and good coverage there for Steve Rose. First down, and we have 23 seconds left. 28-14, just trying to get one of them back here at the end, if Wood can close in. And here's Holzman with time, and it is complete. And then kind of thrown out of bounds is Ryan Wartz, as he was manhandled over there by Ryan Davis, and that'll do it. He didn't get out of bounds, so the clock is winding down. That is all. And it was not easy. It was a battle, but Malvern Prep improves to 4-0 with a 28-14 victory over the defending 5A champion Archbishop Wood Vikings. 2 touchdowns today for Lonnie White. Pick 6 late in the 3rd quarter for Jake Brownley. Dale Law with a couple fumble recoveries. Those were huge. And Isaiah Wright with a 4-yard touchdown run with 4:35 left after one of the fumble recoveries. You had a fumble on the Malvern side when the ball was snapped over the head of quarterback Jack Capaldi, and that turned into a touchdown run for Archbishop Wood that made it a 21-14 game at that time. But a few minutes later, another fumble that turned into an Isaiah Wright 4-yard touchdown run after Dale Law's second fumble recovery. 5 turnovers today for Archbishop Wood. That's a big difference maker here in this game. And yes, the Vikings shoot themselves in the foot some, but Malvern Prep was swarming to the ball. 3 interceptions. One was for a pick 6. 2 fumble recoveries, getting hands in there and just stripping it away and knocking it free.
Yeah, you're not going to win too many games with 5 turnovers, and we saw it right there. Points were hard to come by early on. The Friars stayed strong, and they played good defense all game, and the offense came later. but overall, good game.
Lonnie White was okay. I mean, he had the 62-yard touchdown run at the end of the first half, and he had 3 straight carries early in the third quarter on direct snaps, turning it into a touchdown. But that was really the only way they could get the ball to Lonnie White was on the direct snap from the center, because they really didn't connect with him a whole heck of a lot. Ryan Wartz, mostly, number 5, had a lot of one-on-one coverage there. And more often than not, he had clamped down on Lonnie White. He's a terrific athlete, but in this game, and you kind of laugh when you say it, he only had the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know he's a good player when the down game is 2 touchdowns.
And he didn't have his best game here today, really. I mean, he honestly didn't, and he still gets 2 touchdowns out of it. And I don't know what to think on this game for Malvern. I don't think this was as ugly in a way, winning ugly like they did against Princeton Hun 10-8. I don't think this was their best win, but I think this was a really hard and intense football game between 2 teams. We saw a lot of hard hits out there in the open field especially. We saw a lot of clogged up holes on the line with guys really duking it out and swarming around to the ball. We had a lot of swarming to the ball in general. It ultimately resulted in 5 turnovers for Archbishop Wood, but in the end, I think this was more a well-played football game with a few noticeable mistakes in there too.
Yeah, it's not a beautiful win, but they did what they could to get the job done, and that's all you got to ask for in a short season like this. You just got to get wins. So they got a win to build off of, and we're going to come back next week and try to get another one.
We had a scoreless first quarter, and Malvern was down 7-0 in the second quarter after Archbishop Wood had a drive of about 10 minutes from the end of the first quarter until 4:11 left in the first half. And then Malvern turned it on, and they had 4 straight touchdowns from late second quarter to early fourth quarter and led 28-7. And from there, ultimately, they hang on for a 28 to, I should say it was 3 touchdowns out of the next 4, and they win 28-14. Malvern Prep improves to 4-0. Archbishop Wood falls to a record of 2-3. Forthcoming for Malvern is a game next week against Roman Catholic. After that, they're looking for an opponent. If you know a team that might want to play Malvern Prep on November 27th or 28th, they say, hey, we'll host, we'll travel to you. They don't care. They're just hoping to get a game. Archbishop has a couple of games coming up, including Bonner Prendergast in a couple of weeks, and they lose to fall to 2-3 after losses to St. Joe's and LaSalle and Malvern Prep back to back to back. It's a heck of a tough schedule for Archbishop Wood. Along with Sonny Petricca, I'm Bob Rotruck. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Malvern Prep defeats Archbishop Wood 28-14 on MPTV.